guerreras and guerreros. This is Laura.
And Yesenia.
And on today's episode, we're going to be talking about Nara and seeing the deers in Japan, and also how we explored Mount Fuji. So with that being said,
let's get this show on the road.
All right, everyone. So let's start with a super exciting piece and let me recap really quick. So you all may remember that we've been talking about our trip to Japan that took 2 weeks that my sister joined me in Japan for. And within that trip, we talked about going to different places, most recently the Nintendo World. But for today's episode, we're going to focus on Nara. And maybe some of you may have not heard of that place because in Japan, it's not the most famous place to go, but it is gaining popularity because that's where the deer are. So if you all have ever seen the deer that bow at people to get a snack, that's where it is. So we'll talk about that, and we're also going to talk about our drive to Mount Fuji and being able to see Mount Fuji. So we have two very exciting topics to discuss and talk about today. So let's get started. So let's start with arriving in Nara. So I will say that this was a place that was not necessarily planned. It was not on my itinerary. As you all know, I'm a big planner. But we were so close because we were, when we went to Nintendo World, it is really close to Nara. So I actually asked my family, we're close. Do you guys want to go off the path?
So pause. So Laura pitches the idea like, hey guys, we're very close to the Nara Park. And then Alan and I were like, is that the park where the deers bow? Because we had seen your stories from before. And then you were like, yeah. And then I was like, we were like both like, yes. Like no question.
There was no questions asked on them. And I was like, okay, so here's the deal. So I told them we can go because I like to plan everything. I said, we can go, but you guys are going to have to make it quick because we also want to see Mount Fuji. And in order to see Mount Fuji, we need to see it during the day because the sun's going to go down and you guys may not be able to see it. So I said, so the rule is that we're only going to be there. I don't remember, it was like an hour or two.
Yeah.
It was like a quick time. I said, you guys need to be back in the van at this time.
Yeah.
So it was a little bit stressful for them.
To say the least.
So what happened is we got there and I had already been to Nara, so I was just chilling, like taking my sweet time. But they, as soon as the van opened, they ran.
We ran to we got our yen. We went to buy the peanuts or the food for the deers. And then as soon as we bought them, it was like little crackers. And as soon as we got them, all the deer started coming to us, to Ale and I. And then Alice like trying to feed all of them. And then there was one that was kind of like biting her, and she like just runs away. Like she screams and runs. And then I'm stuck behind. Actually before that, like I want to say a funny story. That same deer that was gonna bite her, he was gonna bite me, but I turned around and gave him my butt, and then I was like, "Ale, look!"
Oh yeah, I remember Ale told me the story, and it bit your butt.
No, he didn't. It was like he paused and then walked away. I was like, "What?" And then
he's like, "No thanks."
Yeah, and then so he went. So when he walks away, he goes to Ale, and then he tries to bite her like the same as me. And then she runs away. So then I am lost. Like
so literally like okay, so Yesenia shared already in previous episodes a big learning for her was that she needed to get international calls because she didn't have them.
No, international data.
International data, sorry.
Yeah.
But the thing that she's saying is Ale got spooked by the deer, literally runs away and leaves Yesenia alone without any connection to anyone.
Yes. I was like, what the hell?
So what did you do after that? Where were you? Because I know that it seems like you were enjoying your life.
I enjoyed my life. I was...
Nara, all by yourself.
Yes, seriously. I just did the trail, and then thank God I did have Wi-Fi, so I could track your guys' location through Messenger. But other than that, like if it wasn't for the app, I would be lost. Yeah, right.
Yeah, we would have figured out a way to get.
But also, I did remember my way back.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
That's what it was.
Oh, a funny story before we mentioned that we all ran to get the yen. or the food, even the kids were running. That we were speed walking, and then baby Zach was behind us, and then we just hear him like running like freaking Forrest Gump, like running, and then he passes like me and Alan. He keeps on running, and then Alan and I could not stop laughing, like how fast he was running.
It was hilarious. When they retold me the story, I would literally close my eyes and think about it days later, because you had said he was a combination of the Tin Man and Forrest Gump, because he was like so heavy and he was like running. But I thought it was to save his mom.
No, he was just running because he wanted to beat us to the deers.
Yeah. And one big learning point for me, because I've been, so in case you guys don't know, there's so many deers around Nara. They're walking everywhere. They're free roaming. They're not confined to cages. Like, they can go everywhere. And what I didn't notice, and this is a tip for some of you if you all would like to go to Nara, is that in the past I've gone in the evening time. And in the evening time, what I noticed is that they were very aggressive when we went, because it was a morning. It was really early. So in the evening time, I think that since they've been eating all day from people, they're not as aggressive and they're not biting as much. They're just fat and full. So they're just like really slow. So I was able to take so many like pictures with them and really close without them getting aggressive. Yeah. But I will say my daughter, this time when we went in the morning, she got bit here.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, she got bit here and then she cried. So I will say, if you're planning a trip to Nara, my suggestion is go in the evening versus the morning, which is when we went.
Yeah.
So that you can get more friendly, nicer deer. Yeah. So that's a big tip for me.
But like the culture highlights, I feel like for the deers to see that that's actually a culture for them to like bow wow, like either before they get the snack and after they get the snack. I feel like it's kind of like self-trained.
Yeah. I think I don't know, that's interesting, because I don't know how they started learning it, like learn behavior from seeing others, because in Japanese culture, as many of you may know, is they bow out of respect, and the deeper the bow, the more respect someone has for someone. So I don't know how the deers learned, but and also how they keep learning, like generation after generation too. So they know, like, if I bow, I'll get a treat, and then when they get the treat, they'll bow again. Right. It is like so interesting. It is amazing to see how they've ingrained with the culture of Japan.
Exactly.
So, and they're so cute. They're like they're brown and like spotted.
Literally
and there's
Bambies.
Moms and there's also dads. Yeah, they're so
and
adorable.
There's herds where they all run together.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we saw some.
Yeah, it was quite magical, and the place that it's on, it's like this very nice, beautiful green park that has a lot of land, and then it also has a temple. Yes. So the temple is Todaji Temple. I have to always look to make sure I'm trying to pronounce it as best as I can. But in that temple, there's a huge Buddha inside. So do you want to talk about your experience?
Yeah, so my experience, I went solo.
You were lost.
But the good thing is that I had experience from the previous temple, so I consider myself an OG. Yeah. So I went, I paid my respect to each statue, and they also had, like, I don't know the terminology, but the water with the cups to cleanse yourself. I also did that too. For me, it just felt, just being in nature, and if you guys watch anime, you guys would see the trees of the Japanese culture trees. It's the same. Those trees actually exist, like those weird leaves, or I don't know.
It's like the cherry blossoms but without it blooming. We didn't go during the time that it blooms, but the trees are still there, and they're still beautiful to look at.
Oh yeah.
And they're all around. Yeah, and also they have it's kind of interesting because in animes they depict like these beautiful landscapes, but they're real. Like when you go to Japan, you start noticing like, oh, they're inspired by the true landscape of Japan.
I didn't know there were cherry blossom trees.
There was, but the time that we went, they weren't blooming. Right. Yeah, it wasn't in bloom. but they're all around the camp.
They're still very beautiful.
Yeah, they're still beautiful, and the whole campground is so beautiful. And that Buddha's is one of the biggest Buddhas that there is in all of Japan. So you were able to see like an incredible, like iconic statue.
Yes, I felt very blessed to be there, and I did try to go to every little temple or little shrine or statue. So I really loved it, and thankfully I made my way back to you guys. Remember, I was the first one back.
Yeah, everyone was in a time crunch, so everyone came. Like I gave them a time, and then I think you showed up, and then slowly we were waiting on other people to show up. But it's hilarious because when everybody got in the truck, I told you all, I said, okay, I'm going to tell you all the truth. We have 30 more minutes to spare, but I didn't want to tell you all. Do you remember?
Yeah.
And everybody was like, what? Are you serious? I was like, I knew you guys were going to be late, and you guys were 30 minutes late. Yeah. So I had baked that into my plan.
This year. Yeah, she tricked us. That's how she tricks us. But honestly, we don't blame her. Yeah. We're actually very grateful for that.
Yeah, and it's because I wanted to make Mount Fuji. So let's talk about that.
Yeah.
So the way that we were traveling, as you all may remember from our previous episodes, is we were in a van. My husband was driving us around. So we really had that VIP treatment. But just so that you all know, in case anybody wants to visit, the bullet train from Tokyo to Kyoto, which is close to Nara, is about a 2-hour bullet train. So it's because the bullet train is so fast. So it's only 2 hours. So I would suggest if anyone wants to go from Kyoto towards Mount Fuji, to sit on the bullet train, but sit on the left side of the bullet train so that you can actually see Mount Fuji as you're going through Tokyo. You can see it if it's a clear day, and you can take pictures. So one thing I will say that I learned, I didn't know how lucky I was, because every time I've been able, it's the lucky girl syndrome, but every time I've been able to go to see Mount Fuji, I've been able to see Mount Fuji. And my coworkers, my Japanese coworkers, when I would go to work, they would say, you're so lucky, there's only a 30% chance of clear skies so that you can see Mount Fuji.
Yeah, so Laura, being the logical girl that she is, she told us that she gave us that disclaimer. Yeah. By the way, guys, we might not be able to see Mount Fuji. And Ale and I were like, no, girl, we are going to see it. So I remember on our drive over there, we all hold hands. And when I say all of us, the girls and the kids hold hands, and we just manifested. We just kept saying, we're going to see Mount Fuji.
They were trying to get all the lucky girl syndrome in, and we were like, we're going to see Mount Fuji. And I was like, okay, let's, kind of like do a little prayer, and we're going to see it. And we were manifesting it, and we were like, we're going to see it. So I was like nervous because, again, we can't control the sky, and even the weather can't control the sky. But as we were getting closer, we started seeing this huge, beautiful mountain. Yes. It was incredible how we were seeing it live with our eyes, and how it kept getting bigger and bigger. And I started telling them, do you guys see Mount Fuji?
Yes, I remember I grabbed because I was in my contact era, so I was like, I had to record this for my vlogs. Yeah. So I grabbed my camera, I'm like, oh my gosh, Mount Fuji, and everyone is in the front.
Everyone goes to the front of the van to get a glimpse.
Yeah, because it was already big, and that's because we were already pretty far away, pretty lengthy. And then you just hear Ale in the back, where is it? And I was like, this group.
I can't see it. Where is it? We're like, oh, you can't see it. It's literally, it's like the big Panasonic like view of it on the windshield.
Yeah, she was looking at the side, but it was in front of us. Like we were driving towards it. Yeah. And it was just standing in front of us.
And she's like, I can't see. We're like, girl, where are you looking? It's like, it's huge.
Yeah, and then we're like, we all turn around and look at her, and we like, girl, over here. And then she's like, oh.
Yeah. And then she runs to the front and she goes, oh, Mount Fuji.
Yeah. Oh, Mount Fuji. It's big. I was like,
It's so hilarious. It was just so funny. She like gave it an apodo right away. She's like, "Oh, Mount Fuji, I see you."
And that was the name, our nickname.
Yeah.
Mount Fuji.
Mount Fuji for Mount Fuji. We were just so grateful, and then we kept driving towards it, and I was, of course, giving them the little history and the lecture. I was like, "This is Mount Fuji. It's the largest active volcanic volcano in the world. It's the largest in the world." And I was explaining all of this stuff, and then I was kind of geeking out with them, and I'm like, and you're gonna see a lot of hot springs, like onsens, like around the area because of the volcano. It's natural, so it's like
we have to try that.
We have to try that. That's one thing we didn't get to do.
Yeah.
But anyways, we start driving near, and I will say, disclaimer, we didn't actually climb the mountain. There's only a very specific time frame because of the winter and people getting lost and it being dangerous that you can climb it. We didn't climb it, but we went to a sightseeing area. So a place where you can sightsee it from far away. And lucky for us, the sky was clear, and we got there just before they closed.
Oh, yes.
We were able to make it in time because, of me giving them the wrong time and everyone showing up.
If you wouldn't have said those 30 minutes, we would have not been able to get to the Ferris wheel or to see it.
So that's where we saw it. So everyone ran, right? So you describe it because it was your first time seeing Mount Fuji.
So we get down, and there's nearby Mount Fuji, there's like little sightsees that you can do to see the Mount Fuji better. And part of those sightseeing is a Ferris wheel that you're able to get on, and it's directly towards Mount Fuji. Nothing's blocking it. And so we run, everyone is running, and we're like, we're here to see Mount Fuji. And then he was like, okay, good, because it closes in, 10 minutes?
Yeah, it was like crazy. Like, it was like, I don't know, 15 minutes.
And then we're like, do we
go?
Are we still allowed to get tickets to go to the Ferris wheel? He was like, yeah, no, like, there's no line.
There was no one there.
No one there,
no lines. There was no one there, I guess, because it was already going to close, so there was nobody there. So we just ran straight up.
And then he was like, there's only 4 people per little room.
Little, like, gondola.
Okay.
I don't know what it's called.
So I go with, Cami wanted me to be with her, so I go with the Manuels, and the Sanchez go in one.
Our own.
Yeah. And when I'm there, Cami's on top of me, and we're all kicking up. Like, Cami was sitting on my lap, and we were all like kicking out, like seeing Mount Fuji. And then I turn around and I see Ale crying, like
stop,
like tears in her eyes, and you know how she's not a crier. I obviously had to get my camera and record her, and then I was like pointing at Mount Fuji. I was like, look guys, this is incredible. Not the Mount Fuji, it's that Ali's crying right now.
Oh my gosh, I didn't know the story.
Because I've never seen her cry. And so she's like, I'm just so happy to be here. And
I didn't know how special it was for her until afterwards. She's like, because she kept saying, we're going to see it. Like, she was trying to, I didn't know how special it was for her.
And that she was just very happy to be there. And I was like, I didn't know it was going to impact her that much.
Yeah.
So.
And I think a lot of people, like, we had someone from our group who will remain nameless was like, I don't know what the big deal is about Mount Fuji. But it's just this feeling that you feel. This is the best way I can describe it, and maybe you have your own way. But it's like this really awesome feeling that you're a part of nature, and that you can, it's like a spiritual feeling of being so close to something so majestic and so beautiful and so iconic. Like, you see pictures. I remember seeing pictures of Mount Fuji in my workbook when I was in elementary. Like, seeing Mount Fuji in Japan and just being there in the presence of how huge it is, it's just like an awesome feeling.
The feeling I got when I was there was groundness.
Ooh.
That's the best feeling I could describe it. I was, no matter how hyper and excited we were, that we were just rushing, at the same time I felt this feeling of groundedness and flowness, where it wasn't, it was chaotic, but it was flowness. It was structured. It was freeing.
Yeah, that's so beautiful. And And the thing that I was unexpected that happened to me, that was one of the most memorable experiences I will always take away from my whole experience in Japan, was Lily.
Yeah,
So
tell them about.
everybody goes inside because it's kind of like a restaurant slash gas station inside. So everyone, after they closed, because we were the last ones to go on the Ferris wheel when we go into the store, where everyone's buying and spreading out and buying food, except Lily. Lily says, "Mom, I want to stay outside and see Mount Fuji." I said, "Okay, I guess I'll just get your drink instead of the grocery store. I'll just get it from this vending machine." So I'm putting in money to the vending machine, and I'm like getting her a juice. Then I see Lily going to like this solid structure, like a pretend Mount Fuji that they have, like a picture photo op place. So she stands on top of the pretend Mount Fuji, and she looks at Mount Fuji and she bows. And I was just like, what? Like, who's, like, I'm like, she's all by herself and she's just appreciating Mount Fuji, like, all on her own.
Yeah.
It was so nice. It was so like surreal. Like, I couldn't believe she was doing
like
that
a grown up.
Like a grown up at such a young age. So then this old lady comes up to me. Japanese, really old lady. She's like, ah, and she's like talking really fast in Japanese, and I cannot understand what she's saying. But she keeps pointing at Lily, and she goes like this. She's telling me, like, your daughter bowed at the mountain, and she's talking Japanese really, really fast. And she's just like saying, like, I think she was just overwhelmed with like appreciation, that she was showing appreciation for Mount Fuji
in the Japanese culture way.
Yes, and she was just like so happy, and I felt so special too. I was like, oh my, for her, she witnessed it and I witnessed it, and it was like a special moment. And I feel like that lady's always going to remember that, because she saw she did it on her own. She didn't see anyone doing it. It was her honoring the mountain on her own.
And it's weird that I said that I felt grounded and flowness and freeness, and that's probably what Lily felt at that time, like just peace.
Yeah. I would love to ask her, like, what were you feeling, if she remembers during that time. Like, it was just this wonderful, beautiful moment that I'm never going to forget in my whole time in Japan. So that was one of my highlights of seeing Mount Fuji. And of course, after we ate, we did photo ops. So all of us went to that little mountain, pretend mountain. We took all these pictures, and we were posing with Mount Fuji, and it just felt so cool.
I remember I didn't like my outfit, and I was like, oh man, I wish I would have dressed nicer for Mount Fuji. And then I was like, yeah, you should definitely change. You should definitely change. I was like, no, I like I like how I look in my outfit. I just felt like I wish I could have changed better. But actually, I don't regret the outfit I had, because I matched with Mount Fuji.
She did. So her pants were blue with like clouds or something. And literally in her pictures, it's hilarious, because I'm like, oh my gosh, you and Mount Fuji are twinning.
Yes.
Mount Fuji had clouds around it. Yes. They were also blue. And then we were taking pictures of you, and Mount Fuji was in the back, and I felt like you and Mount Fuji coordinated.
Yes. I was like, oh, this is perfect.
Yeah. I will say that was a cherry on top that we were not expecting. I think just the last thing that I will say is that
the transportation, or
yeah, I touched base on that. Like, we were lucky that we were able to get Humpert to drive us around.
And like the cool part about the transportation was when we would get down to pump gas, they would actually, it was service pump or that's interesting. It was in the States, in the US, you get down and you pump your own gas, but in Japan they'll pump your gas for you. And it's really interesting because also you don't necessarily tip in Japan, so it's like they just go above and beyond with their service of like pumping, and then and that's different. And also their car wash is different. I don't know if you guys saw any car washes when you were there, but I remember one time getting our car gas pumped, and then I saw the car wash. It's weird. It's like the car goes and then it just stands there, but instead of the car moving, the car wash building moves. Oh.
And then it like moves up, like it moves down to wash it and then it moves up to dry it. It is so weird. So yeah, we wanted to share that. And also one thing we should highlight, like culturally, Japan has the best gas stations.
Right, yeah.
Like the idea of a
Cleanest.
gas station that you have here is nada que ver, like nothing, like it's, yeah, go ahead.
So I go to a gas station, guys, right? And of course, my family has this tendency of just kind of running and leaving it. Like if you're left behind, sorry, girl, that's your fault for not rushing with the group. So my family runs and they go to the restroom and I stay behind. So then I go. I'm like, wait, where did they go? Where did they go? And it looks very fancy because there's like sliding doors and stuff. I'm like, wait, it looks like if I'm going to a conference room. And I'm like, wait, where am I? Where did they go? And then I'm standing in the front of the door where I see the sign. It clearly says restroom, but I don't know how to open the door. Mm-hmm. And then some guy was like, button, push. Mm-hmm. And I was like, oh. So I pushed the button and then the door slides open. And then when you go in there, it was so clean. It was spotless. It felt like a nice, like little hotel area. That's how nice the restrooms, gas stations are.
And also their restrooms. I know that you guys are like, why are you talking about restrooms? Hello, it's Japan, and Japan is amazing with their restrooms. They're so clean. And it's not that they have, like, sometimes in the States I see, for example, in Buc-ee's, they have a lady that's there the whole time, so she's always cleaning. Yeah. In Japan, they don't. It's just culturally, everyone knows to be clean and to pick up after themselves. So it's like the people are keeping the restroom clean. But I've seen the coolest, like, technology with, like, washing your hands. They have, like, literally you wash your hands, and in the sink, you dry your hands.
Oh, yeah.
That makes so much sense. Instead of having, like, water spilled on the floor, like, why wouldn't we do that? Yes. So there's a lot of, like, technology from restrooms that I'm like, and of course you guys know about the bidet where you can press a button and clean your parts. Like, it saves a lot on toilet paper, I will say. But anyways, it's an amazing clean, and then the gas station itself, it's kind of like a mall, like the best way I can describe it. It's it's like a mall, like a food court in a mall, but the food is way better quality and much cleaner
and healthier.
Yes. So it's amazing. I love stopping at any gas station. I don't even want to call it a gas station because the gas station is on the side. It's more like they call them over there rest
Convenience
stops.
Stores?
Rest stops.
Oh, rest stops. Yeah, that's
true.
true.
So that makes more sense because you're stopping or resting to eat, to get food. They have all the vending machines. They have the clean restrooms. And we loved it. Every time that me and my husband and Lily would go, when we were going back and forth between Nagoya and Tokyo, we would always search and ask our friends questions about where are the best rest stops to stop. My friends would tell me, like, you want to stop in this one, and we literally would plan our stops based on the best rest stops.
Honestly, Laura, I'm like, my personal reflection was I'm very grateful for you and Bert. We would say Bert was the MVP for driving us around, and he really was a lifesaver, and you were the great planner. Everything flowed so well from the day one to the last day. It was very
thank you.
I cried my last day. I cried so much.
I know, they're like, we don't want to go, we don't want to leave. I'm like, I know, I wish you guys could have stayed longer, but
for me, I feel like I wish we would have visited you sooner.
And because I would tell them, but I think they just didn't. They were just maybe getting ready for the visit. I'm not sure.
Because we visited you 1 month before you came back.
Yeah, and I would tell them, like, you guys, I've been, I've been waiting for you guys to come to visit me within the year, and nobody has come. I would, like, scold them a little bit, but I think they understood it was all from a place of love, because once they saw it, they knew, like, that, and they keep saying it now. I want to go back.
Yes, we have to go back. Yeah, we have to.
I know, but I definitely think our experience was very MVP with the driver. We had, my husband drove us around, and I do think that's a huge luxury because transportation with a lot of luggage is a huge hassle, and with kids. So I am grateful for him because he's the one that is much more comfortable driving than me. But also for my planning, I just wanted to make sure I hit all the highlights for you all and that it was always forever going to be memorable in your whole life, like that you would remember that trip.
Yes, and my biggest takeaway from the Japanese culture was the transportation, where they have bullet trains, they have ways for the community to travel, bikes, subways.
They have.
It's more the culture is more catered to the community compared to here. The culture is structured,
it's like cars. It's just
around cars.
Yeah, our infrastructure.
Rather than the community.
Yeah, it's very spread out because U.S. is so huge. If you compare the size of Japan, it's like the size of California.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like one state. So
like,
they've been able to figure out how to do it.
For them to take a bullet train, for example, it would be from here to San Antonio, and for it to take just 2 hours, that's amazing.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think that is all we have for you all today, but stay tuned because the next time that we talk, so we're working our way up in our journey to Tokyo, and we're going to end Tokyo with a bang, with Disney Sea. So that is a very unique Disney that's only in Japan. So we're going to talk, that was the last thing that we did when they were in Japan. And so we're going to close it off with a bang. So with that being said, somos hermanas.
And together we are Driven Latinas.